your name for the record and limit the time used to present your remarks in order that others may be given an opportunity to speak. The normal process on any agenda item is for the chairperson to read the item from the agenda. The board is given an opportunity to comment on the issue and/or place a motion on the floor. An opportunity for discussion may be presented, at which time the public may participate, and a roll call vote will follow. Would you call the order, please?
Thompson?
Yes.
Patton?
Yes.
Slosik?
Yes.
Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 4 on our agenda this morning is approval and/or amendment of the agenda. I'll entertain motions on this item, please.
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion to approve the agenda as printed.
Mr. Chairman, I'd second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as printed. Any discussion? There being none, roll call vote, please.
Patton?
Yes.
Slosik?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes. Item 5 on our agenda this morning is the consent agenda. Item A, approve minutes of the regular session minutes of May 25th, 2021. B, approve the claims as audited and authorize the county auditor and recorder to issue payment of the same. The listing of claims paid at this meeting and all claims paid in the month of June will be published as part of the first meeting in July. C, accept the resignation of Tamara Morris as Marshall County representative to the CICS Regional Adult Advisory Board. D is to appoint Deb Williams as the Marshall County representative to the CICS Adult Advisory Committee, replacing Tamara Morris. C is receipt of voluntary annexation request of 2430 233rd Street from the City of Marshalltown. A city hearing date is set for June 28th, 2021. F, file clerk of district court report for April of 2021. General supplemental fund surcharge of $1,171.62. G is file manure management plans. First one is for Hog Haven, item number 70146 at 1779 320th Street, Melbourne. Change crop rotation and optimal yield and using manure analysis. Picard Brothers Finisher, item number 68 561 1814 290th Street, Melbourne. Added acres. I'll entertain motions on the consent agenda, please.
Mr. Chairman, I'd move to approve the consent agenda as printed.
And I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the consent agenda as printed. Any further discussion? There being none, roll call vote, please.
Patton?
Yes.
Slosik?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes. Item 6 on our agenda this morning is to approve a janitorial agreement at 101 East Church Street with Kelly Tompkins, renewable one-year contract at $500 per month. Paul, are you online with us this morning, and could you speak to this?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
We are using the same agreement that we would have been using with Hank. We'd modified it slightly. The biggest change is that this the services will be 3 times a week instead of every weeknight. And with the people working in our office, that seems to work just fine. The as far as the duties of what's being cleaned and how they're doing, it's the same exact list that Hank was using. I can read off the things that we were having done if you would like. They're part of the agreement. Would you like that?
That'd be fine, yeah.
It includes dust mop, uncarpeted floor 3 times a week, wet mop, uncarpeted floors once a week, vacuum carpet and walk areas 3 times a week, vacuum mats and entrances 3 times a week, shake out once per week, spot clean door glass 3 times a week, entire door glass is cleaned once per week, clean exterior window glass, including inside windows 4 times per year, more often if needed, clean blinds 3 times per year, restrooms serviced 3 times per week, replenish the hand towels and toilet paper and the soap. We provide all the soap and paper and everything and all the cleaning products in this agreement, just like we did previously. Lunch area and kitchen cleaned 3 times a week. Emptying waste baskets, wiping anything that's dirty in the sink shall be cleaned once per week. Dust with cloth all windowsills, file cabinets, door trim once per week. Empty waste and recycle baskets in all offices 3 times per week. Replace plastic bag liners and waste baskets upon emptying when needed. General cleaning as needed, and pick up trash from outside entry area as needed. And then when job is completed, all lights will be turned off and doors locked. And that's basically, I mean, the rest of it is this, it's to be done after outside of regular office hours, so after 4:30. Like I say, everything else is as it was in our previous agreement.
Paul, I'm a little surprised, I guess, at cleaning down there 3 times a week. Is that necessary?
Well, originally, I mean, we had an agreement where it was done 5 times a week. So we thought 3 was plenty. And a lot of the things are once a week, but basically there's times of the year when there's enough walk in, and when we walk in from the outside, depending on the conditions, it can get kind of dirty in our office.
I guess when I compare it to the foot traffic that comes into the bank and other areas between the auditor, recorder, and the treasurer, and all
Bank
of
is 3 times
all
a
of our
week.
offices, we are 3 times a week.
They
Okay.
do Tuesday, Thursday, and sometime over the weekend.
Just doing the floors or all the rest of this items too?
Garbage cans are supposed,
But our foot traffic is immense as compared to,
I will tell you, there's times, because I'm over there with some staff, that there's more mud brought in probably just
Okay.
because of what the
Our
guys,
guys are coming from construction projects quite regularly.
yeah. And then they forget, and
I know, but it's that personal accountability. If I walked across my mother's brand new linoleum floor with muddy feet, I know what happened to me as a kid.
I won't be able to get away with doing those things to employees.
I'm talking about just wiping the feet.
or mopping it up yourself.
At any rate, this agreement works good for us, and so that's why I wanted to bring it to you.
Thoughts?
I would agree with Steve. It just seems like that's a lot. But I'm not down there every day either, so, but it seems like a lot of money for a lot of times for this.
And it was the same money that we were spending on this, even 4 years ago.
That doesn't mean it wasn't maybe excessive then.
Well, that's your guys' call. I think it's a service that we would like to have, but we also feel it's very important to have our cleaning being done by somebody we know and trust, rather than somebody that no one in the office knows.
Know and trust is not the issue. It's the frequency and the dollar amount. Do you think you could go back and get this cut down by maybe 50%? I mean, we're talking $6,000 a year here. That's a pretty hefty cost to the taxpayer for probably more cleaning than is done in any home in Marshall County.
I can sure check. I guess the only thing I would say is the same dirt's going to be there, whether it's 2 times a week or 3 times a week. But I can check to see what they're going to do. If there's a way to make a reduction.
Paul, they're really not overcharging us for 3 times a week. My thought is if we could just get it down to twice a week at maybe $400 a month. I could sure live with that.
Well, but that logic gives you actually less work for more money on the per trip fee.
Yeah, maybe they would go for that. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that would actually, in my opinion, benefit them more because they would only have to, come into the office twice a week.
I think we're just kind of looking at the total dollars that are being spent is the big thing. I don't know. Maybe it's not out of line.
Well, I know that it's difficult to find anyone to want to do this sort of thing too. So, I mean, that's why we were in the spot where before what we were doing is it was just a employee in my office that was staying late and just cleaning after work. And they've decided that they would rather do other things with their evening time than clean the office.
Well, and she could also make more cleaning someone's personal residence than she did getting paid overtime from the county. So she made more money cleaning someone else's and getting just paid direct.
And like I say, I can see if they would, consider a different format and drop it to 2 nights a week.
Paul, are they doing it Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays then? Is that how it's?
I don't know that it's even set out, is it? I'm looking in the agreement. I know you don't have it in front of you. I don't think it actually says what nights, but we were thinking, it would be like Tuesday, Thursday to Saturday. I mean, Saturday would be allowed, if they wanted to do it on the weekend.
And those are the days we do at the bank. And one of the reasons, during the week is really the kitchen garbage with the food that's in it. And that's why we do the 3 times. It's 3 times at DHS. Because you just get a lot of smells out of that garbage can.
Well, let me speak with Kelly, and I'll see if there's a place we can take it if you're not interested in this one.
Shall we table this item and give Paul more opportunity to research this?
Yeah, let's do
Okay, I'll entertain motions on that.
I'd move we table item number 6 to be brought up at another meeting.
I'll second.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor to table item number 6 until a future meeting. Any further discussion?
We'll probably find out how bad we need cleaning because nobody will be cleaning for the next 2 weeks.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Roll call.
Roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Slosik,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes. I was slipping into Central Iowa juvenile detention mode there for a minute. Okay, moving on to item 7 in our agenda this morning. Paul, you need to stay on the line here.
Yep.
This is to approve the Ram 1500 pickup for $39,960 from Dave Wright Chrysler. This is a Dodge Jeep Ram of Marshalltown, Iowa. This truck will be paid for from the fiscal year 2021 budget. Bring us up to speed on this, please.
Yeah, this will be upgrading or replacing my truck, and my truck will stay in the office environment, and the 2012 Silverado that is also in our office will move down to the shop. So we can, basically what we like to do is rust them out instead of wear them out. And so I've got, the miles on the 2016 Ram that it will stay in the office and it'll serve us for a long time that way. This, when I replace my truck, it's the end of the budget year is what I'm usually looking at because it's a small purchase compared to other large equipment. If we've got room in the budget, I'll go try to find a truck. And this was actually on the lot at Dave Wright. And we got an excellent, fleet discount on it. The fleet discount on this truck is $14,655 below sticker. So that's, that they're getting right after it. And it actually was very tough to find trucks on lots as far as half tons this go around. The other issue that we had is you previously approved a 5500 chassis that was on order from Greg Young, and Ram canceled that because of the semiconductor shortage. They can't build the truck, and there were hundreds and hundreds of those trucks that just basically got canceled by Ram. They were a late year build. So
Oh, was that the one we approved ahead of time to be coming in the next subsequent year?
No, that's the one that we hoped to have by now, and that we would then immediately after July 1st have it at Henderson to be outfitted for it was going to be the subdivision, small area snowplow, that we could use at the harvester. And we still have a good quote with Henderson, but we have to find out if we can back the date up or if they will still honor that, because we won't be able to get a truck. Even if we can order it, I think in later this month, like next week, but it will still be 3 months out. We'll be trying to get the truck just before, so that we can have it outfitted before winter, and it'll be kind of a race there. But we've got to make sure that the Henderson deal that we also brought to the board is still valid, and with material prices, there's a chance it won't be. I also believe that the truck price is going to go up because this pandemic is causing everything to go, up, especially because of steel prices. So we will likely be bringing another proposal next meeting to the board that will be for that 5,500 again. That will be a fiscal year, fiscal 22 purchase. But
Okay.
at any rate, that I was thinking I still had room in the budget to buy another pickup to move mine down. And then we still have approximately 45,000 left in equipment. And there is, I just wanted to also let the board know we're looking at getting a finish mower that would attach to our tractors that we use at the outside sheds. Right now we're using a bush hog on these places. It doesn't work, very well. And like the finish mower would serve us for quite a while, but we use it at all of the outside areas that we have, mowed areas. So we're looking at acquiring one of those if Jim can find one in somebody's inventory.
Okay.
We would have the invoice for that on the next meeting. I wouldn't bring the purchase of that mower to you because we don't have a meeting there.
Keep in mind, if it's going to be on the next meeting, that all things in this budget year have to be in to the accounting area, I believe, by the 17th.
Yes.
Be paid out of this year's budget.
Otherwise, it's set up as an accrual, and if we pay it in July, it's specially marked that it is for the prior year.
Okay, so we can back them up.
We can, but it still shows up in your next fiscal year.
Okay.
It'll be a journal entry that's done for year-end purposes.
If you can do that, please make sure it gets into the folks in accounting by the 17th.
Yeah, as far as a mower purchase, we wouldn't even get it if we couldn't get an invoice by the 17th, is the way I'm looking at it.
I'll entertain motions on this item number 7, please.
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion to approve the purchase of the Ram 1500 pickup for $39,960 from Dave Wright, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Marshalltown, Iowa, paid for from the fiscal year 2021 equipment budget.
And I second that, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion and a second to approve this purchase. Any further discussion? My only comment is thank you for buying local. The job you save can be our own. We need to continually work to try and support our local community and those individuals and businesses that conduct their business within Marshall County. That being said, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Solosek.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes. Item 8 on our agenda this morning is from Lucas. It's approve the purchase of a 60-inch Gravely ZX60 mower from Central Iowa Farm Store for $7,083.78. This is a discussion and possible action item. Lucas, bring us up to speed.
Yeah, this is a mower that will be used out at the sheriff's office grounds, actually mostly for the antique power guys to use to mow our yard. We've always kind of had an agreement that they help us mow, but we provide the equipment. They've had a old John Deere mower with a 72-inch deck for longer than I've been here, and We've dumped way too much money into that the last couple of years. So when it went down, I said, enough with that. We just need to get something new. We went with a little smaller deck here because they do mow around the cemetery out there, so they can maneuver a little better with that.
Was the old John Deere their piece of equipment or ours?
It was ours.
Okay.
It was like a double hand-me-down from conservation, I believe. Yeah, and I think it got put in the auction last Saturday. So
The auction's this Saturday.
No, it's this
is it
week.
just? Oh, it's this week.
They're just
Oh,
setting
even
up
better.
for it.
Perfect. Well, may actually have time to get some stuff into that.
Good.
Okay. I'll entertain motions on this item number 8, please.
Mr. Chairman, I'd move to approve purchase of a 60-inch Gravely ZX60 mower from Central Iowa Farm Store for $7,083.78.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion?
I will say I upgraded to a little nicer seat on that for some comfort.
That's a wise decision if you're in that thing for a period of
It makes a
time,
big difference on mowers.
Yep.
The suspension seats.
especially in the lower back.
Yep.
Okay, if there's no further comments or discussions, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Slosson,
Yes.
Thompson,
Motion carries, yes. Item number 9 on our agenda this morning is to approve the following extensions to law enforcement 2080 agreements through June 30th of 2022 for the following cities and the annual fees of City of Albion, $13,100. City of Clemens, $3,875. City of Ferguson, $3,187.50. City of Haverhill, $4,175. City of Laurel, $7,175. City of LeGrand, $25,175. City of Liscum, $7,175. There's 2 contracts that we are waiting for that we don't have physically in hand to come back from the following cities, which also are included in this list, one of which is the City of Gilman for $13,350 and the City of St. Anthony for $2,487.50. Sheriff, would you bring us up to speed or any comments on this, please?
Yeah, these are the addendums for the contracts that are currently in place. There was no increases this year. It's based off of taxable residences and liquor licenses. Gilman's meeting is next Tuesday. I'll be attending that to answer any questions they may have. So I expect that to come through next week. And then the City of St. Anthony, their council meeting is tomorrow evening. So I expect that to come through for next meeting.
Did you have any increases on these fees from our previous contracts with them?
We did not have any increases this year.
Okay. All right.
This won't come before us again then, since we have kind of pre-approved these contracts. Is that fair to say?
Yes,
Okay, so yeah, great way to do this.
it sped it up a lot rather than handling each one individually.
Yes.
Okay. Any further discussion? Comments? Nope. There being none, I'll entertain motions on these extensions, please.
We have,
I would,
don't
yes.
we have motions?
Not yet.
I have Bill made a motion already.
That was back.
That was for the Central Iowa
Okay,
Farm Store.
okay, I'm sorry, I apologize.
I would make a motion then to approve the extensions to law enforcement agreements through 6/30 of 2022 for the cities and in the annual amounts as listed above, pending return of contracts for cities of Gilman and St. Anthony.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve these extensions. Any further discussion? There being none, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Slosson,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes, motion carries. Item number 10 on our agenda this morning is the roads law enforcement agreement through June 30th, 2021, annual fee of $10,050 plus $300 per liquor license. I do have a question. How come we're doing this one separately?
I went at Mr.
Okay.
Chairman. This was previously Rhodes had entered into a law enforcement agreement with Melbourne Police Department. They tried to work some things out last spring and they were unable to come to an agreement. We were approached by the mayor to see if a proposal, we did provide that to them, I believe in June. And then it had been letters have been sent back and forth for the agreement. And then there was a mayoral change and some city council members. I did meet with the city council, I believe last month's meeting, and we were able to get that signed agreement. And it was retroactive back to July 1st. With the delay in the contract, I did make it just till October 1st. That's when the original letter came out, that it would be retroactive to July 1st underneath Sheriff Hoffman. So we were able to come to that agreement from October of 2020 to June 30th of 2021. So this will be a new contract.
Okay, I understand. I'll entertain motions on this item, please.
Mr. Chairman, I'd move that we approve the roads law enforcement agreement through June 30th, 2021. And is that the correct date? 21? That's the end of this month?
Or should it be next year?
That should be next year.
Should be
Okay.
22.
Okay,
Thank you for catching that.
Approved with the following correction then,
Yes.
2022.
Mhm.
Okay,
with an annual fee of $10,050 plus $300 for approval of liquor license. Okay,
I'll second.
okay. We have a motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion? If not, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
yes.
Solosik.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes. And City of Rhodes, welcome back to the fold. We appreciate your cooperation. Item number 11 on our agenda this morning is to approve the amendment to the Health Partners Unity Point Summary Plan Description. Madam Auditor, would you bring us up to speed on this?
This is just extending the COVID items through the end of the calendar year, which I believe we had previously approved, but now it's in the summary plan description, which is the long version of our health insurance.
So we're I-dotting and
We're
T-crossing.
I-dotting and T-crossing, yes.
I'm really looking forward to the day when we lose the term COVID.
Yes.
It will be wonderful. Entertain motions on this item,
Mr.
please.
Chair, I'd make a motion to approve the amendment to the Health Partners Unity Point Summary Plan Description. The amendment extends the provision of treatment of COVID-19 at no cost to the member through 12/31 of 2021.
And Mr. Chairman, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. Any further discussion? There being none, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Solosik.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes. Item number 12 on our agenda this morning is to approve the CICS Statement of Understanding for fiscal year 22 regarding the salary allocation for CICS employees Lisa Soder, Service Coordinator at 90% of wages and benefits to be paid with regional funds held by Marshall County and their County Fund Number 10, and for Kelly Gerke, Administrative Support, 80% of wages and benefits to be paid for with regional funds held by Marshall County and their county fund. Bill, this is your area. You want to bring us up to speed on this?
This is as described here. I think that's what we're doing here. So I would move to approve the CICS Statement of Understanding for FY 2022 regarding salary allocation for CICS employees. Lisa Soder, Service Coordinator, 90% of the wages and benefits to be paid with regional funds held by Marshall County and their County Fund 10. And for Kelly Gerke, Administrative Support, 80% of wages and benefits to be paid with regional funds held by Marshall County and their County Fund 10. Roll call. Oops, no, stop. Roll. County 10 Fund. Here we go.
And
I'll second.
okay, we have a motion and a second. I have one question. If my memory serves me right, this
I was
is the
gonna say-
same 90-80 split we had before?
The difference between Lisa and Kelly is actually 10% of Kelly is paid 5% from VA and 5% for public health because of the support, administrative support. So that's why it's different.
That's why it's different.
It
All
used to be
right,
90-90 and now that's slightly different.
I
So
understand. Okay. Any other questions or discussion? There being none, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Slosik.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes. Item number 13 this morning is to adopt resolution number 2021-0024, approving the assignment of certificate of purchase at tax sale of 918 North Fifth Avenue and 920 North Fifth Avenue, Iowa, to the city of Marshalltown, Iowa. Entertain motions on this item, please.
I would make a motion to adopt resolution number 2021-0024, approving the assignment of certificate of purchase of tax sale of 918 North Fifth Avenue and 920 North Fifth Avenue, Marshalltown, Iowa, to the city of Marshalltown, Iowa.
And Mr. Chairman, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adopt. Before we vote on this, Jarrett, do you want to chime in on this and say anything?
Yeah, both of these parcels, they're lots that are both assessed at $2,750 each, and the one has a special assessment of $2,700 plus an additional tax sale, so that's $833 of tax hanging out on that total. So the total of what's owed with special assessment and tax is more than what's even assessed. The other one is it's got $8,400 in special assessments plus a tax sale that's got majority of special assessments. So total on that one's $13,000. Again, it's assessed at $2,700. The city's requesting these tax sale certificates so that they can attempt to get these parcels back in good standing, back on the tax rolls, and maybe some type of development. It's the location looks like it's on that Fifth Avenue over there, just south of Riverview Park.
Is this the one at our previous meeting we discussed and somebody was already working on one of the properties and this was adjoining to it, and it sounded as though the city already had somebody that was interested in it?
That was a different one. I don't recall the address, that one on top of my head. But these two are separate from a few weeks ago.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, we have a motion and a second to adopt this resolution. If there's no further discussion or questions, roll call vote, please.
Patton.
Yes.
Slosik.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes, motion carries. Item number 14 on our agenda this morning is discussion and possible action to appoint a Board of Supervisor representative to sit on the ARPA committee. Nan, would you,
Because
another acronym.
we needed another acronym. This is the American Recovery funds that are being sent from the federal government out to every county in the country. And we received our first half payment last week of $3.9 million, and we'll get another half coming in exactly, it's supposed to come in exactly 1 year later. So I was kind of watching base camp of what other counties are doing, and they've formed a committee of different department heads, and I thought that's a great way to start brainstorming and getting the people in the room that we need. So I've got a meeting set up for the 18th, and I need a representative from the Board of Supervisors to.
As I understand this, we've got pretty stringent guidelines we have to follow as to how these funds can be spent.
Well, I'm going to say that
But it's
there's
fluid.
guidelines, but they're not very specific yet at this point. I've seen a lot of what you can't spend it on. We've seen some things that yes, and then there's some very obscure words like infrastructure.
And
What exactly does that all mean? And guidelines to be coming.
this is the same one I'm working with Senator Ernst's aide on, trying to get them to get the Treasury to approve the fact that our new towers that we are going to put up, that we may be able to
I've gotten a
use
lot
this
of
funding.
things, not paying off loans. It's
Yep.
very specific on not paying any debt. So maybe there's a way to word it differently, but we
Exactly.
can't pay off bonds or loans.
Yeah,
Is there a time frame? that has to be
This money
spent?
needs to be committed by December 31 of 2024 and spent by December 31 of 2026.
Good.
I know there was another county that I believe was using some of the funds for HVAC at one of their facilities.
Yes, HVAC is one thing that we've heard. I have a long list of things. So we got a lot of options, I think,
Yep.
but it's a lot of money.
So Sheriff? it
He's
looks
on,
like
he's
we
on the
may
committee already.
Absolutely, because that's one of our things on our 5-year list with Lucas and Buildings and Grounds.
I mean, how much money of that do you want me to spend?
I was gonna say, I had the feeling this guy can spend some money.
Well, if we can get it into our infrastructure on
And it
stuff that
saves
we need to do,
Taxpayers down the road.
you betcha. Swing for the fence.
So we may not be able to pay down our debt on these things, but we may be able to spend it on other things.
Other areas,
But yeah,
which will free up the money to pay down the debt.
exactly. So
The
lots of.
net
good
effect
options.
will be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who would like to be our representative?
I've had 2 of you express interest to me.
There you go.
It was not Bill. So
I have no problem. If you want to do it, I have no problem with that either.
Yeah, I would like to see you be on this if you would.
But you expressed interest and
You
now
ex-
you're going to throw me under the bus.
No, no, I'm throwing you under the bus.
I'm just
No,
kidding.
No.
I'm fine with that.
yeah,
Well, pick one of us then. How about that?
we could draw out of a
No.
hat. We do that in cups
Here's
during
a scoop in
elections.
case one of us gone. Can we zoom in on it?
You know, we could declare one and other be the alternate. We
That'd
could,
be
ooh,
fine.
he has a coin to flip. That seems like a really nice way to do it.
Seems very democratic.
It does seem very democratic.
Oh, what the heck? Let's gamble in public. Would you flip the coin, please? Would you,
Who's calling?
would you call it in the air?
Who's tails?
Heads.
Heads?
Heads it is.
So you get to pick?
You're in.
You're in.
You're in. All right.
Okay.
You got the long straw,
Chairman.
Dave.
Mr. Chairman, I move to appoint the name of Steve Slosik as Board of Supervisor Representative to sit on the ARPA committee.
And seeing as how you're going to be the appointee, I will second that. We have a motion and a second to approve Steve Slosik as board representative to sit on the ARPA committee. Any further discussion? You don't want to reflip?
No.
Okay.
That's 2 out of 3.
Roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Slosik,
Yes.
Thompson.
Motion carries. Item number 15 on our agenda this morning is to approve Top Farms Limited Liability LLP lease renewal through August 31st, 2021 for DHS office space at 206 West State Street. Our current lease expires on 7/31/2021. This is discussion and possible action. Lucas, can you give us a real good idea when we're going to need this and if we're going to be out in time and in time?
I can give you a pretty good idea.
Okay.
No, this should be enough. Through the proposal here is through the end of August for an extension on the lease for DHS State Street across from Raycom there. We pushed back probably 3 weeks on our annex schedule. So we're a little further behind than we expected, and we thought we'd make up some time there, but I think this will actually be okay. It'll give us a little extra time to clean up and get everything moved out and stuff to the scrap or the dump or whatever we need to do. So we do have some extra desks there that we'll have to maybe find new homes for, and maybe a good opportunity for some of the deteriorating desks at the sheriff's office to get upgraded. We'll see.
Have we got a final answer from DHS as to how much space they're going to need and what we're going to have left over for
We
one
have
of the other
nothing left
entities?
over at this point.
So are we going to be able to put juvenile court services in there?
No,
Not at this
No.
time, no.
no.
So we'll have to also renew our lease with the Masonic Holding Corporation there.
Yes.
The only way we're gonna see that happen is if there's a significant reduction in DHS center. They'd have to, so the they split it up. They kind of have two different internal departments. So one department would be upstairs and another one in the basement. So I think we'd have to see some of those services transfer somewhere else or go to a committed work from home situation. And even then, I guess that gets a little scary because you never know what, a new governor or a new director of DHS is going to do in those situations.
Okay. I will be seeing Jim Goodman later today, who has always handled that lease for the holding corporation. Do you want me to put a bug in his bonnet
I
that
think
we will
you-
need to redo?
It's a new guy. It's Dean,
Yeah.
Van Horn,
It's,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So it's not Jim Goodman anymore.
one of the new attorneys in his office. Okay.
No,
think he
no,
is.
this guy's a realtor.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah. And he was a year ago also.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
So, have you had any contact with him yet, Bill?
No, have not.
And that's on the agenda. Masonic is.
Okay.
is down there.
All right.
We,
Well, we're on item 15.
if I could just make a comment, we got a request from Teresa Barnes yesterday. She's the local court-appointed special advocate program coordinator, and she's wanting some office space. She wants one office. And is there a way that she can be working?
What department is she with?
She's the court-appointed special advocate program coordinator.
From another county.
For DHS?
I believe it is part of DHS.
Could you forward that to Lucas and I, and we'll get in
You
touch
didn't-
with?
You didn't get it, obviously.
No.
I think this is the position that was formerly held by Lee.
Okay, yeah, forward us that. I've also heard little snippets of, there's a couple other DHS that were in the annex previously. There was a department that's different than those people on State Street, and I don't know where they are
I
now,
don't know either.
but wondering if there'd be room for
And
them.
they don't need a permanent desk. It's just from time to time. And so many of these things with DHS now, the people are not in there
Well, they're,
7
but
days a week.
yeah, but they need a
Yeah.
landing spot, and I don't know where they ended up.
See, Lee was, we hired Mary.
Out of Hardin County.
Yes.
Yep.
And so she's still doing that.
Okay. Then this is a different one.
This is a different deal.
Okay.
I know we have some extra
I
offices
think there's
built in.
two.
I think there may be 2 on the second floor and
Yeah.
one on the.
Is there one in the basement?
But I think the problem we run into is we see a lot of ebb and flow in the DHS department with staff. So giving out offices that may be empty now could potentially need to be occupied in the future. So I think we'll just
Follow up with Vicki
Yeah, we'll have to have
Hendershot.
some conversations with Vicki, who is the director there, and just kind of see what little projections we're looking at there.
Okay. Entertain motions on the extension of the Top Farms lease, please.
I'd make a motion to approve Top Farms LLP lease renewal through August 31 of 2021 for DHS office space, 206 West State Street.
And Mr. Chairman, I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the extension of our lease. Any further discussion or comments? There being none, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Slosson.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes, motion carries. Item 16 on our agenda this morning is the Raycom lease agreement for the Collins Tower site and the Iowa Avenue Tower site. This is discussion and possible action.
This was, the date was accidentally put in as 2021. And it isn't really going to happen until probably July 1 of 2022. So I would move we table this.
Okay. Until we get the dates and all the
In
fine
a
details.
final draft, this was a draft, and
Okay.
we had a meeting yesterday with Raycom, and they provided a lot more information, and as they provided it, it refreshed my memory when we had a conversation probably about 2 years ago. about these other two towers, but we're going to have one lease for both the Iowa Avenue Tower and the Collins. So it's just one payment. It'll include everything, so we won't have multiple bills and that type of thing, which will
Okay.
be nice.
But including it in every one thing, there's going to be multiple entities that are going to be using that. Are they
Yes.
going to have a contract with each individual
No,
entity?
we are the, Marshall County right now is that contract. That's going to be up to the 911 Service Board, the Commission, and the Emergency Management Commission to determine how that's going to happen.
We have to talk about this.
First, it's going to be a supervisor discussion.
Right.
Supervisors need to look at this first and determine these entities. So,
So it'll be, but we have another, we need to know this by our budget prep time,
Okay.
November, December, January. So we've got more time. With that 2021 date on the draft, I got nervous. And now that we got that clarification, I feel a lot better and like we can make some good decisions and think this all through in a logical manner.
Okay. Well, I will entertain motions on tabling this item until a further date.
yeah, I move that we table this.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to table until a further date. Any further discussion? There being none, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Slosik.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes, motion carries. Item 17 on our agenda this morning, I got ahead of myself earlier, I apologize for that, is the approval of the Masonic Horling Corporation lease renewal through August 31st, 2021 for juvenile court service office space. The current lease, are these dates right? The current lease expires 6/30 of 2021. Should that be 2022?
No. That's correct.
So we're approving this for
2 months.
2 months.
No, yes. Well, you'd want to extend it for 2 months. The current lease expires end of this month.
Yeah,
And we talked about this just a second ago here. This may not be enough because if we were thinking that we were going to move these people to the annex, and what you're saying.
There's not room.
There's
Right.
not going to be room. We may need a whole year on this thing.
Well, do we want to approve this for an extension for 2 months and then work on a lease? Or do we want to just table this and go right to the source and approve a lease?
probably be less
no
paperwork if we approve it at the next meeting for a longer period, if we can get that done.
Yeah. Okay.
How do you
Let's
feel?
do that, yeah.
Yeah, it's just one less lease to keep track of
We're kind of
forever.
on a roll to table stuff this morning,
Yeah.
so I'll entertain motions on tabling item number 17 until further meeting, please.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to table the Masonic Holding Corp. Lease renewal for, are we doing it for one
We do need to do something by the next meeting.
by
on
the
this
next
one.
meeting? All right. I think that's,
Okay, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve tabling said item. Bill, would you be willing to approach Mr. Horn, seeing as how you've had discussions with
I
him in the
will.
past
I will. Yep.
and handling the extension of our lease?
Yep.
Wonderful. We have a motion and a second to approve the table. Any further discussion? There being none, roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Slosik.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes. Item number 18 on our agenda this morning is the approval of a contract with Youth and Shelter Services of Marshall County at our funding level of $11,000 through the 2021-2022 fiscal year for youth services, discussion and possible action. I'll entertain motions on this item, please.
Mr. Chairman, I'd move to approve the contract with YSS of Marshall County, funding at $11,000 throughout the 2021-2022 fiscal year for youth services.
and I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the contract. Any further discussion? I've just got a couple comments. This is what we have funded them at for a period of years. We've gotten much more specific on the services that they are actually billing us for so that they don't flow over into anything that has to do with mental health. And we can keep the state of Iowa and their auditors satisfied. So the contract we've had these last couple of years are for specific items, non-mental health related. Any other comments or questions?
YSS has some exciting things happening here
Big
right
time.
now, and I'm just very proud to be
Yep.
a part of helping with that.
David Hicks does wonderful work with YSS, not only on his programs with the police department and the new cooperation there, but things that have to do with shelter services for juveniles and families that are in just absolutely terrible situations. This is a very, very good organization. That being said, we have a motion and a second to approve. Any other comments or questions? Roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Slosson.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes. Item number 19 on our agenda this morning comes from Buildings and Grounds. This is to approve a new hire of Paul Wyman, Building and Grounds Mechanic number 1, starting June 14th, 2021 or later for $18 an hour. Discussion and possible action. Lucas, would you bring us up to speed here?
Yeah, so I had a retirement at the end of last month. So we posted a job. We got 6 applications, interviewed 3 different people, and Paul is a very well qualified person. He had some experience working for a local HVAC company. So hopefully we can maybe save a little money there with him doing some of the small stuff for us. And the or later is because he is currently self-employed doing small contract stuff, and he's got a few things he needs to finish up. So his start date, he doesn't quite know that yet. It's most likely the 21st, but he said some of that's weather dependent. If we get some rain and things that mess up outdoor work, it could push it a little bit. But
Okay.
this is should be a really nice addition to our little team.
I'll entertain motions on this item, please.
I'd make a motion to approve the hire of Paul Wayman, Buildings and Grounds Mechanic 1, starting June 14th of 2021, no later or later, $18 an hour.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the hiring. Any further discussion?
I will say this is dependent on, he'll still have to pass a drug screen. So, but I don't see that as an issue.
Okay,
I mean, if I did, I probably wouldn't have offered him a job. So.
no problem. Roll call vote, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Slosson.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes, motion carries. Item 20 on our agenda this morning is public forum. This is a time set aside for the public to make comments on topics of county business other than those listed on this agenda. No action will be taken on any of these topics brought up at public forum.
I can update a little bit on our contract stuff with our general contractor here at the courthouse. I have a draft version of a contract that OPN has done for us to hopefully put in place with First Onsite. I just have had limited time to look over that. I'll get it to you guys here later today, and we can make comments and adjustments however we will.
It's nice to see a beehive of activity going on in a full parking lot and things progressing.
Yep.
After our last meeting, I have to give kudos that things have turned around 180 degrees in a very short period of time, and hopefully we'll get back on track.
Yep. Yeah, we have seen some pretty substantial improvements. My main focus is just making sure we continue on that line.
I hope you're as happy as we are.
Okay.
As happy as you
I don't
can
know
get.
how happy you are.
Well, it was getting pretty bad there for a while, you know.
Yeah.
When
You're
we
gonna
didn't
email
have-
this to us then?
Yeah.
We'll
Yep.
email it. We'll also have Jordan Gaffney look it over after we get.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've been keeping him in the loop on follow-up. We had a meeting last week with Kevin with First On Site, as well as David and Mitch were on by Zoom, and made some progress on getting, because they haven't been paid for anything on the interior. And you'll notice there was a couple payments on
They
this.
were big ones on the
Which
bill
were,
list.
well, yeah. Those are little ones now.
I know.
But
Well, that
it
catches
was
us up to
only
that,
the
so.
original agreement. There was nothing of any of the additional ASIs or changes. That'll be coming. So they started the first phase of just getting some money flowing their direction by just doing all the original stuff, which
Okay.
was signed off on by OPN. So
Yeah.
we're making progress. It's going the right direction. We just have to.
Yeah, I will say we had a little bit of pushback from them on the liquidated damages, but we're still holding strong on that. And if I need you guys to step in, I'll let you know.
We can have another meeting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sheriff, just a question, with our other departments struggling to find vehicles,
Yes.
do we need to step up the approval that the board gave you for your vehicles for this next coming budget year on your replacements?
We just had that discussion at a staff meeting last week, and I think we're going to start earlier this year around that July, August timeframe. So we can put in our orders by September 30th for a January delivery. I think we're getting numbers together on what we're going to need. I think this is the year where we're going to be replacing 3 vehicles. We've had some discussion on AIP program. Obviously, with that suspended, one of those vehicles was rotated out due to excessive mileage. So we're kind of positioning to which vehicle to take out of fleet services, possibly get that AIP program up and going again. So there's some mechanics we got to discuss and which vehicles are going to be going where. With the upfitting of vehicles, we're looking at, we were supposed to get one in January to get upfitted. Equipment still has not come in. We got an appointment set up for the end of this month. Hopefully we can get that done. So we're looking at 6-month delay in upfitting patrol vehicles. So everything's kind of going aligned with the roads department. We need to be looking at least a year in advance, ordering, getting that stuff ordered and sit and wait. Inventory is going to be very low again this year. Part of that, we've talked to Dodge. They are going to be redesigning the pickups, and the Chargers will not change a whole lot. That's typically what we've been using. We'd like to get that equipment to transfer over to at least 2 model years, 2 vehicle exchanges, 3rd if we can. But a lot of times the manufacturers are changing those models, and at times that doesn't work. So we're trying to hit that target on where we can get multiple years of car rotations with the same equipment where it's interchangeable. So we're probably going to step it up just a little bit sooner, at least 2 to 3 months this year, to try and get those needs met, at least the orders put in anyway.
Anybody else? Okay. There being no other public comments, we're going to move on to item number 21 on our agenda this morning, which is adjournment. The next regular session is June 22nd, 2021 at 9:05 a.m. All business to be acted upon at that session should be submitted to the County Auditor Recorder's Office or the Board of Supervisors Office by Wednesday, June 16th, 2021 at 12 p.m. With no further business to come before the board, this meeting is adjourned.